Hi, my name is Miss Donna, and can anyone tell me, what is this? Do you have an idea? It's a flute. Yes, this is a flute. You're in second grade, am I right? Does anyone happen to know into what family of instruments the flute belongs? Let's do it together. You tell me. Is it in the string family like a violin? No. Is it in the percussion family like a drum? No. Is it in the brass family like a trumpet? Do 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 do. No. Is it a woodwind? Yes, it's a woodwind. This is not wood. Why is it called a woodwind if it's not wood? Big ideas. You see, all learning, especially science and music, is about big ideas. Let's think. Woodwind. I get the wind part. I blew a lot of hot air to make this sound. But it's not wood. Who has a big idea? You're right. A long time ago, all of the flutes were made out of wood. When they made up the name woodwind, the flutes were made out of wood. This one is silver and gold. Well, what does a wooden flute sound like? Let's listen. It has a different sound. Always a big idea. Why? Put your fingers together like this. Because the wood and the metal, the silver and gold, have something called molecular structure. And they're different. If you tap on wood, it makes a certain sound. If you tap on metal, it makes a different sound. That's because of molecular structure. And that is science. Well, who loves music? Of course I do. Why do we love music? Let's try an experiment. You listen with your head, and what do you think this reminds you of? It reminded you of horses. You're right, but why? Take your hands, put them on your thighs. The rhythm of a horse running or galloping. Do it with me. Short, short, long. Short, short, long. Short, short, long. That is rhythm. Let's try this. I love to race. Put your hands on your thighs and see if you can beat me making the rhythm of a horse galloping. Ready? On your mark. Get set. Go! Now, hands over your heart. Do you feel rhythm? Yes. Even our bodies have music inside. Your heart has rhythm. I'm standing outside by the Gulf. It's like a big ocean or a small ocean. Do the waves have rhythm? Yes. Is there also sounds besides the airplane that went by that have pitch like a flute? Can you think of one? Oh, the birds. Yes. And there's wind. Yes. As part of an assignment for when we're finished today, I'd like you to make a list of all the things in nature that have rhythm and have pitch like melody, like an instrument. If there was only one kind of instrument, like a flute in the world, could we write a big story? Would it be as beautiful? The answer, of course, is no. To tell a big story with music, we need an orchestra with string instruments and percussion, drums, and trumpets, all the brass family, and of course the woodwinds. And nature in our world is the same. We have many creatures. It makes the world more interesting. In a symphony orchestra, if any one of those members is not there, the orchestra is not the same. It is less. Every person, every member of the orchestra makes the whole better. And that is true for you, your classroom, your family, and our beautiful world. Can anyone tell me, why are we called the blue planet? Oh, you are right, because we have a lot of water and it's blue. Can you name two big bodies of water? One starts with an A, the Atlantic. One starts with a P, the Pacific. Good. 71% of our Earth is water. That's what makes it blue. If we took 100 pennies, 100 pennies, that's a lot, and we took 71 and pushed them away, that's a lot of the pennies. 95% of all of the water on Earth is in the oceans. So if we took away 3 pennies and left 68, that would be all of our oceans. Take 1 penny and stack 25 on top. 1 penny, 1% of all those oceans is called Coral Reef. Let's say that together. Coral Reef. Stack 25% of all the creatures who live in the oceans depend on that 1 penny. Take your finger like this and make it smaller and smaller and smaller. That little penny, that 1%, is getting smaller. And all those 25 pennies that were on top, which are like creatures in the ocean, their numbers get smaller and smaller because they don't have a place to live, to have their babies safely, to eat. Please put 5 fingers up. When our creatures on Earth and our plants don't have a place to live, a safe place to be, and their numbers get smaller, we call it threatened. Can you say that? Threatened. Now put 3 up. When there are even fewer, we call it endangered. What's it called? Endangered. And when that number gets smaller and it goes to 0, it is called extinct. You're right. Now 0 is not just a number. It means we will never see that creature or plant again. We will never hear the beautiful sounds of that creature again. They are gone. And many of them, and we too, depend on that coral reef. What is coral? Looks like a rock. Is it a rock? Looks like a plant. Is it a plant? Is it an animal? Yes. What makes coral an animal? Please take your fingers like this and put 3 fingers on top. Yes. Coral is an animal. When it is born, we call it spawning. It can move on its own. Animals can move on their own. Now wiggle your fingers like this. Yes. The coral swims along and it has to find a place to live. So let's pretend it's out in this body of water and it comes close to shore and the waves are pushing it and pushing it. It can't live there. Let's swim out a little further. Oh, that's too deep. It can't be there. It's too dark. We need light. Oh, shall we go to the mangroves? Oh no, that's too dark too. Let's find the perfect place. So the coral finds a perfect place. As a baby, it's called planula. The pianula finds the perfect place. Can it make its own food? No. It must find food, and it gets a little help. So we have different kinds of coral. They're not all the same. Put your fingers up like this. There is a coral we call staghorn. What's it called? Staghorn. Now put your fingers close together. Close together. This coral is called elkhorn. What's it called? Elkhorn. What's this one? Staghorn. This one? Elkhorn. Put your hands like this. There's a coral that looks like our brains. Guess what it's called? It's called rain coral. All of these corals live out in our beautiful oceans, and all together we call them coral reefs. All the creatures, nearly all of them, depend on these animals we call coral. Our world is a beautiful place, and just like the symphony orchestra, every single creature matters. There is not one that we can just let go away. That is true for people too. Every single one of us matters. I've enjoyed my time with you standing out here in nature. Do you hear the birds? Oh, I heard them, and I hear the rhythm of these beautiful, beautiful waves. Our world and we have rhythm, and we all have a song inside us. Before I see you next time to learn more about coral, our beautiful world, and the symphony orchestras, can we do this? Can you go out and listen to nature like we've done today? There would be the waves. I'll give you a clue. There might be thunder or other things from storms that would be rhythm. See how many different sounds, melody, pitch you can hear. Those might be birds or frogs or crickets or even people or the animals around us. Then turn to your computers or books or your own discussions, and please find some creatures that are threatened. Their numbers are getting so small that we can't afford to lose any more of them. Please find some that are endangered. We need them. And let's find some that are extinct. Some of the extinct creatures in our world were caused by human beings, and some were not. I want to thank you for spending time with me today, and let's review quickly. The flute is a what kind of instrument? A woodwind. It takes wind to play. A long time ago, it was made out of wood. Yes, a symphony orchestra, we have different families. The string family, the brass family, like trumpets and trombones and tubas and French horns, the percussion family, the drums, and the other woodwinds. In a symphony orchestra, every member is important. And in our world, we have 71% of our blue earth is water. 95% is in the oceans, and 1 little percent are coral reefs, are what sustain, which helps all of our interdependent creatures have babies, have a place to grow and live, create food for people in the world, and to keep our species so that fewer and fewer would be threatened, endangered, and extinct. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.